C-U-L-T-U-R-E. Hello and welcome back, welcome to another episode of Culture 101 Podcast, where we move the culture forward and have a damn good time doing it. I am 1/3 of the collective, one third of your hosts. I'm Trist. I'm posted up in Harlem. I got it out, I let them use me as I can, every time, 1 second at a time. But we're gonna throw it right to Texas because she over here talking shit, and we're gonna throw it right over there to Texas. What's going on in Texas, Les?
Oh man, actually had a pretty eventful weekend. My mom and I went up to Fort Worth on Saturday to see my munchkin Angel Lee. She is, like I told you before, she's doing gymnastics this year. So they had what they call a mock meet, just to show like the parents and family, what they've been working on and what it'll look like when they start the competition.
Did she wear her favorite leotard?
Well, they all have super cute leotards. There's pink, green, and black, and there's different teams. So everyone on like each team, has the same one. She looks so cute in her outfit. And they did like the bars. They did the beam. They did their version of the vault. So like with her team, she's on the bronze team. So they don't actually, jump off the vault. They just jump onto the mat and flip. And then they did like their floor routine. So she did super, super well. So proud of her. She really enjoyed it. You could just see like, she's in her element. So I just love that for her. And then Sunday, my aunt, she is a Delta. And so they do like fundraisers. And sometimes those fundraisers are, boy, put your hand down. You can't do that. Put your hand down.
Yes, I can. I can rep any set I want to rep. No, I'm shouting them out. I'm shouting them out. Shout out
respect to the Deltas. Okay.
That's nothing but change. That's beautiful.
And sometimes they do fundraisers, which include like early movie screenings and stuff. So we got to see, my mom and I got to go see The Color Purple yesterday. So good. Nice. Everybody go check it out. It definitely is like, I've never seen the Broadway play, but from what I've heard, it is like a hybrid of the movie and the Broadway play. And after seeing the movie, I'm like, okay, I can kind of see where maybe like they infuse some of the Broadway stuff. Not just to sing it, I'm just talking about like what actually happens in the movie. So I thought it was phenomenal. Everybody did great. They need to give them all their awards and all the things that they deserve. And yeah, y'all go support when it drops on Christmas Day.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm probably gonna be watching basketball that day, but maybe the day after, week after, something like that. We'll figure it out. I just feel like that's not strong enough to tear me away from watching the Warriors play.
You don't have to go see it on the day. I'm just saying when it comes out, support.
I mean, you say it when it drops. So in my mind, you said, Tristan, you can't watch basketball today. You have to go.
Never did I say you can't watch basketball, Tristan.
What it sounded like.
That's how you interpreted it.
What it sounded like. What's going on in Maryland, Sean? What's popping over there?
It's been an interesting weekend for me, unfortunately.
I don't like how you said that.
Just found out one of my aunts passed away yesterday. So
no.
like my family
so sorry.
So my family is like really dealing with a lot this weekend. It literally just happened yesterday. So yeah, it kind of got me in a little mood.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I'm not as chipper today. But doing good on the side. Other than that, doing good on the side. What about you, Tris?
Our condolences for sure, man. Damn,
for sure.
Tough.
Your family's gonna be in my prayers for
Thank
sure.
you.
Yeah, my uncle, his aunt just passed, so that was crazy. We were talking to him. My mother actually went up to Chicago to go see him to talk to him about that. So, yeah, holiday, time passings can always be a little tough. So I feel you. But,
yeah.
No, this weekend I did a few things. I stepped out the house a little bit. Like Friday, I didn't do too much. I was chilling. I was kind of like I think I was kind of like recuperating because I got up and cleaned and everything. Once you put on Anita Baker, all bets are off. It's time to clean. It's time to go.
That house gonna get real clean.
Right. Oh no, it got clean. Oh no,
pristine,
it got
clean.
thoroughly clean. Because there are no doggies here, so like everything had to get up every bit of hair
clean.
I could. Right. But then Saturday, like Taylor was hanging out with one of her friends, so I was like, well, I'm gonna go do something. I'm gonna go make a dolo mission. So I found something to do. I got out the house a lot later than I expected. Like it was already dark when I left the house, but that was fine. So I ended up going to my favorite vegan restaurant. Shout out to Vegan Hood.
Facts.
Right. But no, I didn't end up leaving until like damn near 6. So that was later than I anticipated. I was trying to be out the house by like 3, but it just didn't happen. But whatever. So I went to Vegan Hood, went there, got the vegan oxtail. I know that sounds like sacrilegious, but it's fucking delicious. It's actually fantastic.
What do they
And
make it
then
with?
I don't know. I don't ask those questions. I just know it's delicious, and I put it in my body, and
You
I
think
feel
it's
great
tofu?
afterward. And the sauce is fantastic. I think it's probably some mushroom tofu mixture because I don't think you can do it all through tofu. If I had to
My
guess,
thing, my thing with veganism is just like, just eat vegetables. Why you guys try to make a vegetable
just
into a
eat vegetables.
thing?
Because first off, you could get creative with stuff. Like, okay, like for people that eat meat, just eat meat. Don't touch any vegetables. Leave them all for us. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Well,
you
no,
can
because we
get
eat meat and
creative.
vegetables. We're not saying we don't eat vegetables because we eat meat. But what I'm saying is, like, when you try to like force something to be a thing that you really want to eat, it's like either
Who is
just eat that
forcing
thing
it
or
to
stop
do
trying to force
anything?
it.
Just because there are
Y'all
modern
are.
marvels, these are modern marvels. What I don't understand the problem. You're upset because of progress? That don't make any sense.
I'm
That don't
not
make any sense
upset.
at all.
I'm just saying it don't make sense to me to try to force something to be something else that you really want to
Who
eat.
had to
Either
force
just
it?
eat
They did it
vegetables,
quite
just
easily.
eat
They
it.
do it all the time. It's great.
Are you saying that they vegans should just create their own food instead of trying to like, instead of calling it vegan oxtails, call it something else because it's not oxtails? Would that be better?
Sure, maybe that's the solution. A kind of meat in the middle
But
type
it
of thing.
it
Sure.
tastes like an oxtail. So what you
No,
want
it
me to
don't.
do? It did. It tastes like oxtail. Like I know oxtail tastes.
Mm-mm.
I've had a lot of oxtail. Trust me, I do know the flavor. Have made it. It's good stuff. But anyway, that's probably beside the point. And then I got a golden Oreo pudding. I love it. It's fantastic. I mean, I'll send a picture around later. So then afterward, I was supposed to go to this wreath exhibit because apparently they have this situation where like there's over 75 wreaths that people have made from different household items or whatever. And it's like this big thing they do every year. And apparently this is like the 40th year anniversary of it. I ended up getting to the shit too late. So it was closed. So I was like, and it was on the east side of the park and I was on the west side. I was like, okay, it's just not going to happen. So, but the park was decent because it was SantaCon. So they had hella people like walking around in Santa costumes and ElfCon was going on too. So
My
you had
friends
all
do
of
that
that.
every year.
Who, black
I've
people?
never heard of that.
Yeah, he actually went to Howard. He's Shauna's year.
Black
You know,
people
Brian?
do SantaCon?
Yeah,
Really?
it was like a whole group of them that
I
do
had
it like
no
every year. I don't
idea.
know if they did it this year, but like every year when I go on my Instagram, I just always see them dressed up as Santa do a SantaCon.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay, I thought it was just. I thought like
Howard
SantaCon was. I was under the impression SantaCon was code for like white people to like. This is like a white only zone. Like I thought that was what that was code for.
Well, you know,
like,
anytime Black folks can congregate, drink, and have a good time, they gonna figure it out. So
I mean, that's fair. That's super fair. But the thing I enjoyed most is I went to the Art Tech House in New York, and they had this nice new exhibit, and it was dope. And so I really enjoyed the Art Tech House, even though it's not as impressive as the DC location. The DC location, I think, is a little bit better. I haven't been to the one in Miami either, so that might be even better location. But it was cool. Definitely liked it. And then yesterday we went to see Waitress, the movie.
Never
Basically,
heard of it.
it was Waitress, you know, the Broadway show. They just taped it and then they just showed it in the theaters, and it was cool. So it was Sarah Bareilles' musical. It was pretty popular.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
maybe that's why she was on the Kelly Clarkson show the other day. So maybe she was talking about
exactly
that.
why she was on there, probably promoting the film. But yeah, we saw it. It was cool. I thought it was going to be a movie like The Color Purple. So I'm going there assuming it was now
thinking they like refilmed it, but this is just a taping of the Broadway show.
Right.
Got it.
I was a little irritated once it started. I was like, what the fuck is this? Right. Now, not that everybody did a great job. Everybody's right. It was great. Everybody did a great job. Voices sounded great. I love the transitions from one scene to the next. Okay, wonderful. That's beautiful. But I thought we were going to see a cinematic presentation that is not what I signed up for. Even though, like, low-key, I was the backup person to go because it was supposed to be Taylor and her two girlfriends, right? But one of them got sick, and so they were calling around. They were like, so would you want to, how about you call the rest of your friends? See what, nobody was available. So I stepped into the role.
Before you get to me.
I stepped into the role, and I was just like, and Taylor claimed that she's like, I told you that this was I didn't hit it one damn time.
Tristan, you were like, go revisit your MySpace top 8 before you asked me.
Because I already knew. But again, I'm happy that I saw it. Shout out to them. You know, it was fine. But you know what I'm more excited about than any movie or anything else? I'm excited about this information that the streets need. And there's only one lady that can give us that information. Because you know what, damn it, it is time for the bulletin board. Let's take it away.
All right, thank you so much. So for our first story, I have a coworker Cuddy update. Do y'all remember what Coworker Cuddy was about?
Hold
No.
on, wait a minute. Let me see.
It's
Not
a
Taco
year
Bell.
ago to this date.
What?
A year ago we talked
Coworker
about this
Cuddy.
I know somebody was fucking at
last
work, but I just
cycle.
don't remember.
Your
I'm
favorite
trying to
people,
remember.
Tristan?
Oh yes,
The
they have a
blue
podcast now.
people?
I listened to
Yes,
part of it. Oh
Oh,
you
man,
did.
I
a
missed
little
Okay,
bit. Yeah, a
it.
little bit. Yeah, I did because I was so excited for them. I was like, "Good job,
okay.
y'all!" I was so excited for them.
Okay, so let's get into it. So, if the audience doesn't remember, former Good Morning America hosts Amy Robach and TJ Holmes, just like Tristan said, have a new podcast that they just debuted last week, a year
Mm-hmm.
ago to the day of them being what they say is outed, to the public for being in a relationship.
They be that way
Now,
sometimes.
yeah, so I didn't personally listen to the podcast, but I actually listened to another podcast that like had snippets in it that talked about this or whatever. So from the snippets that I heard, Amy and TJ are very adamant that they did not cheat on their spouses, that their mistake was not revealing they were already both in divorce proceedings before all the pictures and information about them being together came out. So they're adamant they did not cheat on their spouses. They were already going through a divorce. They were outed, not having an affair is what they say. But whatever. That makes
Why
them
are
feel
y'all
better, sure.
hating on this love story? I don't get
I'm
it.
not
I don't get it.
hating.
I don't get
No
it.
hate my way because it don't bother me none. But I'm just saying they're very like careful with the words they're using. And TJ said that they didn't feel the need to come forward about the relationship with, Good Morning America and ABC because they hadn't even fully told like their family. Like he said, he still hadn't told his daughter that, even though him and his wife are getting divorced, that he's actually dating the Amy lady who's been around her since she was like 1 year old. He felt that would be too much. He hadn't disclosed it to his parents. So they're just saying that's what their mistake was because it made it look worse than what the situation actually was. And according to them, they're happier than they've ever been. They're both super in love. They're with their person finally. They're locked in. But they did say it has been a year from hell. And apparently when the news came out about everything, Amy had to do like a wellness check on TJ. Apparently he was like locked in his home, drinking heavily, doing some edibles. Like he was just like zoned out. So apparently they was going through it. I mean, of course, if you are the talk of, all these news stations, all these articles, for a few months, yeah, of course, that's going to, drain you and mess with your mental and stuff like that. But the real tea that I wanted to bring to y'all is, did y'all hear that Amy's ex-husband, Andrew Shue, and TJ's ex-wife, Marley Fiebig, are now dating?
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah,
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm.
Yes,
that's
they've been
ridiculous.
they've been dating for about 6 months now. So my thing is like, it's either like, is it trauma bonding? Like y'all had this terrible experience and y'all like comforting each other, or do y'all think they were all like low key swinging and it kind of like swinging went bad?
Why y'all always gotta take this shit to the nth degree? Y'all always gotta take this shit to the nth degree. Y'all talk about me and conspiracy theories. I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is. He looked at her. They had a drink together. They were like, "Fuck it, why not?" That's all that would happen. They had a drink together. They said, "Fuck it, why not?" Everybody knows
There's
everybody
so many
already.
more
You
people
already
in the world.
you already know where the stuff goes. I see no problem with it. I see no issue with it.
Not
Like, it seems simple to me.
Right. Swingers.
They've been by each
that's what I
other's
said.
houses
That's why they
before. They have been by each other's houses before. They were coworkers for years. So you said he knew her daughter since she was 1. They know where stuff goes. You know where that thing go in the pantry. Go get me the thing from the. They know where stuff goes. It's fine. I'm here for it.
My thing is with the exes dating, I feel like I would want to make a clean break. Now, of course, Marley can't do that because she shares a young child with TJ. So, of course, she's going to have to co-parent with him. But for Andrew, him and Amy didn't have kids together. They got married, bringing their previous kids from previous relationships into it. So he could have made a clean break and not been around any of this anymore. But, I guess he saw Marley.
Yeah, but how long were they married? Right. How long were Andrew and Amy married?
I don't remember. I don't think it was like a super long time, but I can't remember. I want to say it was under 10 years, but don't quote me on that. I'll have to go back and look that up. I don't remember, but yeah, I just feel like this is super interesting. It's giving wife swap. It's giving like, I feel like maybe maybe they had some trysts, all four of them, and then Amy and TJ realized they was like liking each other a little too much. So I'm just speculating. I don't know. I wasn't in them people's bedroom, but it's just so interesting.
I love it. I love it all. I'm here for every bit of it. I love that Amy and TJ now have a platform in which that they can discuss their issues, and tell everybody what's going on. It's cute, it's fun. I love it. It's great, And then now that their spouses, their ex-spouses now found some comfort in somebody who really understands what you're going through. And that's great. So I see no issue with any of it. I love it. And if they all want to have a foursome together, I'm here for that too. Good job, guys. Everybody enjoy yourselves.
Well, according to them, their quote is saying that, their relationship, this is the exes, their relationship turned into something else, that they connected over their shared values. It's bigger than the affair that happened. They're not heartbroken or sad, and just everyone has moved on. So they're basically saying, be happy for us, be happy for them. We don't care no more. It is what it is. So here we are.
Exactly. Get them their jobs back. Exactly.
Well, I don't know if that's going to happen, because now with that, I feel like they lost it. Right. They lost it because it was bringing too much mess to the entire workplace, essentially, is what I think happened. Mm-hmm. And I feel like TJ had more indiscretion because it came out that he had messed with other producers and other people at the workplace. And I think for them, they couldn't just let him go and not let her go as well, because if they had kept, I'm going to bring race into it, they kept the white woman, got rid of the black man, that would have came down, on them. And they didn't want that backlash as well. So I feel like they just want to make a clean break from both of them, part ways.
I just feel like, what's his name? Brian Anderson, whoever that was, lied about what he did in Iraq. Like he was in Iraq or whatever and lied about the stuff, and he gets to host the show again. Get them their damn jobs back. All that stuff has nothing to do with what they were doing with the news. They reported the news. They are very good. Get them their damn jobs back. I want an Amy and TJ show. Like they got Hoda and whatever that lady is. I want Amy and TJ. I want a show.
Well, shoot, they need to call Andy, because they can have all four of them on a Bravo show talking about all these relationships and stuff like that.
I don't want to see
Andy
that.
Mess.
I don't want to see that.
Mess.
I don't want to see that. I don't want that.
I might tune into that. I don't know if
I'm sure you would,
because it's like after the initial few episodes, like what else are y'all going to talk about? Like people tune into
they're going to have on guests. They're going to have fun stuff. They're probably going to go to different cool locations. Like why would you not? Like I just felt like you could have crazy fun with this podcast. Like anything y'all want to do on the news that y'all couldn't do, now y'all can do. I love it. I love it.
Well, how about you keep us updated, since you're a tuned in listener? You might.
Look, I'm trying to be a guest on their show. I'm trying to be a guest on their show. Okay, like one of their biggest advocates. I want them to introduce me. One of our biggest advocates is here today. That's what. Hey guys, it's your boy Tris, and guess what? We got new merch. That's right, new merch. Come check it out. Culture101podcast.com. Stay tuned. Stay locked in.
Hey, this is Beth with Fruitloops, Serial Killers of Color, and you are now listening to Culture 101 Podcast.
All right, I'm going to move on to my next story. Now, I have another update. This one is titled Major Mess. Now, I covered this one briefly in our first show of Cycle 3, when I just did the major news story for each month. So if y'all don't remember, Major Mess was in March, and that has to deal with Jonathan Majors. Now, when I initially covered it, it was just a quick overview of what happened. We didn't have a ton of information, and I really didn't go into depth because we had so many stories that I was, updating people on since it was our first show back. So I'm bringing this update today because he's currently in court as we speak. It started last week. It's supposed to go through this week. I don't know if a verdict will be reached by the end of the week or if it'll be next week before we hear, what the jury decides. But they're actually in court in Manhattan, and it's a mess. I'm not gonna hold you. It's not looking good for the brother. So he's joining court with his new girlfriend, Megan Good, which again, why are you there, sis?
She's supporting her man. She's supporting her man. That's why she's there.
She picked the time to be with him. But anywho, moving on. So Jonathan Majors' attorney name is Priya Chaudhry. And in her opening statement, she claimed that the actor's ex, whose name is Grace Jabari, accused him of domestic violence and harassment because he ended their relationship. And his attorney is saying that he was arrested on March 25th due to racism, him being black, Jabari being white. So after
Wait,
Chowdhury's claim,
whoa. The white lady's name is Grace Jabari.
Mhm.
Is she from South Africa? Where is this woman from?
I have no idea. I did not look into her heritage. I have no
Grace
idea.
Jabari? I just knew that was some sister. What? That's the lady's name? I'm sorry. Continue on. I'm sorry. Continue
Maybe
on.
you could, while I'm reading, maybe you could Google to see if you can find her
What
heritage. But
the
I did not.
fuck?
So
Grace
I,
Jabari? Come on, man. That would be like some black lady named be Sue Young. Like, come on now. That would be wild. Like, that would just, I can't even, Grace
I'm done.
Jabari.
Not too young. So after his attorney Chowdhury claimed Jabari was being out for revenge, the assistant district attorney Michael Perez accused Major of showing a cruel and manipulative pattern of psychological abuse towards his ex-girlfriend. So the assistant district attorney is saying that Majors demanded total compliance from Jabari and allegedly wanted her to act similarly to late civil rights activist Coretta Scott King or former First Lady of the United States Michelle Obama by making sacrifices for him. So that's what made headlines this past week, was basically people saying why he want this white woman to act like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama.
Her name Grace Jabari. She can act like whatever. Are you serious? Grace Jabari? Stop it.
It basically translates from what I'm getting is that he considers himself to be a great man and he needs a great woman to support him like these women supported their husbands who are, prominent figures. So
that's what I got from that.
What'd you get from that, Shauna?
Never mind. Let's just go on.
It ain't like you walking around here in tan cream and braids. He just said, like, conduct yourself in a regal manner. That's what I heard. I'm regal, girl. You need to be regal too. That's what I heard.
But I mean, it could be said maybe deep down he wanted a black woman because now he's with a black woman. So there's that as well. So
I want you to be like these powerful black women.
He had to go get the goods. He had to go
Literally.
get the goods. I mean, I ain't gonna lie. So she's from the Reading United Kingdom. So she ain't. I don't know. I don't know.
Let's see what her grandparents are. See if we can go back in her heritage a little bit.
Well, no, she looks super like what? Not Nordic. Well, Nordic, yeah, but Scandinavian is what she's giving. Yeah, okay. She's giving Scandinavian, but they don't really give a bunch of information about her, which I guess that's smart because they're trying to keep that on the low for this trial. But no, I don't see too much about her. Like all I can tell you is where she's from. She's from Reading, United Kingdom. That's it.
Got you. Okay, so again, the assistant district attorney painted Majors as having cruel and a manipulative pattern of psychological abuse towards Jabari during their 2-year relationship, saying that if his needs weren't met, the actor will become angry, shouting at Jabari, or throwing household objects at her. I heard that he even threw like a candle at her, like stuff like that. So similar claims were made in a Rolling Stone expose that came out in June, where his former classmates, I know y'all remember this story coming out, his former classmates at Yale University, as well as previous employees on film sets that he filmed on, said that the actor did have like a violent streak. So it was a few people in the expose who came out saying that they had witnessed some of this. The behavior,
what they witnessed, him throwing a cup. What they witnessed?
I didn't read the expose, so I can't say what the details were, but people did come out and say so. The behavior allegedly went over the edge before Majors was arrested on March 25th after the domestic dispute with Jabari. So this is what made headlines and why he was arrested. So prosecutors accused Majors of launching into an attack around midnight in the back of a Cadillac Escalade after Jabari discovered flirtatious text messages on his phone from a woman named Cleopatra. It's alleged that Majors broke Jabari's middle finger, twisted her right forearm, and struck her ear, causing it to bleed. The two were returning to Major's Chelsea triplex apartment from having dinner in Brooklyn. So according to his lawyer, after Majors allegedly fled the scene when the vehicle pulled over, Jabari chased him on foot through traffic, just like you see in the movies where they're like weaving in and out through the cars in the street. And when she couldn't find him, his lawyer claims that Jabari spent a few hours at a Manhattan nightclub with 3 strangers she had met that evening. However, on the flip side, prosecutors said that Majors roughed her up in the vehicle multiple times before it pulled over, and then Jabari allegedly accepted an invitation to the club from bystanders as an attempt to temporarily block out the incident before returning home, where she took 2 sleeping pills and fell asleep on the bathroom floor. So apparently when Majors discovered her, that's when he called the authorities for a wellness check, and she woke up with the police officer standing over her. Along with being hospitalized with minor injuries, Jabari was hesitant to report the abuse because Majors trained her to stay silent. That's according to the assistant district attorney. So after telling police about the alleged assault, Jabari briefly recanted in those alleged text messages we've seen. So what the assistant district attorney did here was introduce previous text messages from the prior year. It was like back in, I think it was like September 2022, just to show that Majors had this like history of emotional, like psychological abuse as well. So the text message he introduced into court last week, Majors begged Jabari not to seek medical attention on September 22nd, 2022, after an incident that left her with a head injury. He warned her that she had no perspective of what could happen if the truth got out. He's quoted saying, "They will ask you questions, and as I don't think you protect us, it could lead to an investigation, even if you do lie and they suspect something." So Jabari responded and said that she would tell the doctors that she bumped her head. And she said, "Why would I tell them what happened when it's clear I want to be with you?" They're basically saying like this incident that happened this year in March is not the first time something domestic has happened between the two. And it's not the first time that Majors has encouraged her not to come forward in order to protect him, essentially. So additional information about how Jabari sustained the injuries during the September altercation, which actually took place in London when he was filming the second season for Loki for Disney Plus, was not discussed in court. So the 6-person injury was basically, 6-person jury was encouraged just to use this as background information to inform their final decisions when they're thinking about all the stuff that's being presented in court. There are a couple more text messages that were introduced. Jabari explained to Majors that the recent head injury had left her unable to sleep and in need of a strong painkiller. So she said, "I will not go to the doctor if you don't feel safe with me doing so." And so then the district attorney saying this is where he got really manipulative, where he accuses Jabari of rejecting his love, and then he threatened to take his own life, saying, "I'm a monster, I'm a horrible man, I'm going to kill myself soon, and I've already put things in motion." So of course she's saying, "No, I won't go to the doctor, I won't, tell anybody," trying to basically stop him from committing suicide. So that's what happened last week in court. We have to see what happens this week in court, what comes out. I will have an update once they come out with the final verdict of which way it's going to go. If he is convicted, I believe he's facing charges of misdemeanor assault, aggravated harassment, and harassment while strangulation. Strangulation charges actually dropped. He's not facing that anymore. But if he is convicted, he faces up to a year in prison. So it's a lot. It's a whole lot. I hadn't been following it this closely just because there was a lot of he said, she said. And I remember at one point they were arresting her because that she had lied. But now with what came out last week, I'm just like, it's not looking good for your boy. At least in the fact that there is some abuse going on there, and according to previous people who have worked with him, who have been around him, it's somewhat of a pattern. So I don't know. What do y'all think?
I don't really have any thoughts on the matter. I want to just see how it play out. It's been a lot of back and forth. Like you said, with her getting arrested and him back getting arrested. I don't know what's going on with them.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some more information because you said they took a text message out of a middle of a conversation. I'm like, but how she actually hurt her head? No one even said how she hurt her head. How did she hurt her head? Did he hit her? She didn't say that he hit her. So what's going on? Did she bump her head? And he's like, it's gonna look bad anyway, because that would look bad. So I'm just very confused. I need some more information.
Yeah. According to this, they didn't say exactly what he did per se to cause a head injury. It just says after an incident that left her with the head injury. So they didn't go into
So
specifics.
she fell off a bike? Like, I need more information. I need to know what happened.
I don't know.
I can't, like, I'm like, you want me to convict a man in jail? Like, I'm on the jury right now. And you're like, all right, cool. Tristan, tell me, okay, right. She hit her head that led, he said, you shouldn't get your head checked. Okay, but where she hit her head? How did she do it? Did he hit her with a baseball bat? Like, what happened?
Goodness gracious.
Or was she playing Wii and she was in the middle and got hit in the head while they was playing Wii?
Situation.
I don't know. I don't know. That's why I want more information.
Well, I would definitely keep y'all updated after this week and what plays out in court. I'm sure we'll get more headlines. Hopefully nothing crazy like the whole Coretta Scott King thing, because I'm just like, y'all, this is a mess.
I mean, look, I just feel like if a woman came to me and said, Tristan, I want you to be like Martin Luther King. I want you to behave yourself like Barack Obama. Oh my God.
I mean, you're black. You could do that.
I appreciate that. Okay, so just tell me a white man. I want you to be, who is Regal that's white? I'm trying to think of somebody. I don't got no names offhand. But
Chris Harry. No,
I
don't even know why.
No, he smokes. He's Scientologist. No, that ain't the one.
Ryan Reynolds. He's funny.
Okay, right, yeah, I like Ryan Reynolds. I want you to behave like Ryan. That's great. He owns a multimedia company. He owns a soccer team. Yes, okay, all right, ma'am. Appreciate. Thank you that you think that I could elevate today. He's a father. All kind of wonderful stuff. Shout out to Ryan Reynolds, man.
I want you to be more like Machine Gun Kelly, Tristan.
Absolutely the fuck not. You sound insane. So does she. She told me that. She clearly don't know me. That that must have been her trying to break up with me. She's like, I want you to be like Machine Gun Kelly. So this is the start of the end. Thank you for that.
You're making Fox crazy tail sales. All right. No. So yeah, I'll give y'all an update once we see what else happens this week in court. Pray for all those involved, because this is a mess. This is a mess. And Megan, free yourself, please, sister. Please. All right. So moving on to the last story. This one is crazy to me. I titled this one, I don't know, can I sing it? Tristan, you might have to help me out on this one. With the fire we make, it's getting hotter and hotter. You hear that song?
I love that song. That's one of my favorite Maxwell songs and Alicia Keys songs.
Shout out to them.
And that video.
There you go, Shauna. Thank you. It was sexy. Yeah.
The fire we make.
There we go. I could get up the hottest.
And hotter.
That's what I just sounded like.
I can't stay away. I fucking love that song.
All right,
that video was fire as fuck. They don't make videos like that anymore.
They don't.
Like as soon as he came in the hotel talking about, can I get a room? I was like, oh, we about to be some shit here.
You already know what's going down. Oh my goodness. Talk about Pound Town. All right. So I titled that this because
you're supposed to use your imagination.
Oh, I'm sure they did. All right. So the Atlanta police officers rushed to Martin Luther King Jr. Speaking of which, Martin Luther King Jr.'s birth home in Atlanta just after 5:45 p.m. last Thursday, after reports of vandalism were in progress.
The fuck?
So, yes, I don't know if y'all heard about this. It was going viral, last week. So
the Klan popped up at his home?
No, not even the Klan. Let me tell you. Forgive me if I mispronounced the chief's last name. I think it's Chief Schrebaum, something like that. Says 2 tourists from Utah saw a woman. Well. No. Listen, the 2 tourists from Utah saw who were there to tour the house because it's a historical site. Government.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
They saw a woman dousing the plant's porch and front door of the home with what smelled like gasoline. So the bystanders told officers that intervened when they saw her trying to ignite a lighter. So apparently there was some, I think they were New York police officers. Yeah, NYPD officers that were also visiting the area. They saw them and they were like, hey, we see this woman dousing this house in something. It smells like gasoline. We're not sure. Maybe y'all could check it out since y'all are actual police officers, even though they're not Atlanta police officers. So those 2 retired NYPD officers actually detained the woman until Atlanta police officers arrived at the scene. So Atlanta Fire Department Battalion Chief Jerry DeBerry says with the fuel down, if she had ignited it, it instantly would have gone into flames. So the fire department's hazmat team was able to like work to clean up the spill. They arrested the woman. Now, when I seen this go viral, I was like, oh, I just know it's a white person. It was a 26-year-old Black woman named Lanisha Shatrice Henderson.
What?
I said, why,
Lanisha
sister?
Shatrice.
Jeez, Lanisha Shatrice Henderson.
Shatrice Henderson. Yes.
So she in a gang and she was getting jumped in and they sent her to do this, right? Is that what happened? Like, I need some more context.
I don't know. She has psychological stuff going on or what would possess her.
She had to be off some meds.
That could have been it too. Man, it could have been
and
that.
Also,
Could've
how
been
did
that.
they get her before she started the fire? Like, she just sat around after she put the gas on the front of the house?
That's what I'm saying. No, that's a quick thing. You douse, flip, and move.
From what I read and how I interpreted it, the Utah people. So what I read was the Utah people were there visiting. There was the retired NYPD officers, I guess, who were also visiting the historical site when they seen this. So Utah people was like, hey, like someone help type of stuff. So they were able to detain her while they were waiting for Atlanta police officers to come. That's how I interpreted it. So that's what I'm running with. But she has been charged with arson in the second degree and interfering with government property. And she's been booked in the Fulton County Jail. And there could be some federal charges that are brought up because, again, government property, like, hello.
But it's attempted arson, right? It ain't actual arson. She didn't set anything on fire, right?
Not from what I read, but it says she was charged with arson. So,
okay, whatever.
You know, that the intent was there. So maybe they're just like, hey, we could probably get you for this because had it been a few seconds later, it would have been up in flames type of thing. So the King Center did put out a statement saying, fortunately, the attempt was unsuccessful thanks to the brave intervention of Good Samaritans and the quick response of law enforcement. Our prayers are with the individual who allegedly committed this criminal act. So again, she's going to be evaluated. We don't know if she has something mental going on or what her motive was, but I was just so disappointed when I saw she was just, I'm like, why, sis? What was the reason in my Cardi B voice?
What if, this is real fucked up. This is real. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead. I'm gonna wait on mine. Go ahead, Sean.
Well, now I'm concerned because I don't know what you're about to say, but I was just gonna say that she did this during visiting hours. Like there were outside
in the broad daylight.
Like, so she must have done something psychological because that seems like a little like off your rocker, man.
Yeah, 5:45 p.m. is when all this occurred in the afternoon. So yeah, broad daylight. True, the sun was setting. Sure. Yeah. But still,
because you over there about to burst.
Okay. This is super fucked up. But y'all know how Martin Luther King back in the day, we all know that, like, if we're talking about champions of morality, Malcolm X is definitely a more champion of morality than Martin Luther King. We know that he had, quite a few affairs and things of that nature. What if this is one of his illegitimate grandchildren or something? And he was like, I'm going to make a statement today. I'm going to tell everybody about Martin. I'm burning this bitch to the ground.
It's so funny when we're talking about the whole Jonathan. We talk about the whole Jonathan Majors thing. I forgot who I was listening to, but they say, isn't it ironic that he wanted his white girlfriend to act like Coretta Scott King, even though Martin cheated on Coretta with white women? I said, oh, Lord. Y'all over here connecting the dots. I cannot.
Yeah, man. Talk about full circle.
Talk about full circle. On that note, I think we've come to a great closing point. And so, yeah, I will just continue to keep my ears to the street and report back next week.
Yay!
Hey, y'all. It's your girl, Les, 1/3 of the Culture 101 podcast. We want you to stay locked in for more content coming to you soon. Stay tuned.
And now for part 2, the thrilling conclusion to our interview with the Fruitloops Serial Killers of Color podcast hosts, Beth and Wendy, in our You Don't Know What You Don't Know series. Please enjoy.
Do you have any favorite stories?
Wendy does.
I do have a favorite story, and
Gerald ain't there. She can tell me if it is. It's not. Okay, it's cool.
But that one was my favorite before I found this next woman, Madame St. Clair from Harlem, actually, Tristan. And she was running. She wasn't convicted of murder, so she wasn't necessarily a serial killer, but she was running all these those gambling rings. and she was making a lot of money, and the like establishment wasn't happy about it. You'll never guess this, but she was real petty, and she was using the newspapers like Twitter before we had Twitter. So she would
like in
say,
the personals or
no, she would take out whole ads saying, like, calling people out, like, how dare you, like, you know, disrespect me, you better put some respect on my name, this and that, but in the newspapers, yes. And there was one guy who she did not like very much at all, and she was so petty that on his deathbed, she heard he was dying, she ordered a telegram to say something like, ha ha, bitch, and had it sent to his deathbed. That is my favorite.
Yeah. I can totally see why that would be your favorite story.
Yes. Yeah. The ones with gangsters, especially the female gangsters, are really fun.
Yeah. Like Griselda Blanco.
Yeah. You know, they're coming out with, I believe, a series on Netflix.
Yeah.
With that.
We'll be watching. It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Billy Corbin. He's the director of Cocaine Cowboys.
Random, but her son was actually on a reality show on like MTV telling his mom's story. Yeah.
Her son? Griselda Blanco's son?
Yeah.
With the black dude? With that black dude that she was with? She had that lover.
No, he's not mixed. He doesn't look like he's mixed with black.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because she had that lover. There was another part of it, and she had this lover like in the States. It was a young guy.
He was in prison. Or he would visit her in prison.
Right.
That was the black guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was way after her son was born.
Yeah. Her son's like grown, married, has kids, the whole 9 or whatever.
Yeah.
Happy he's doing well. Shout out to
him. So I know a lot of your stories can be a little heavy. Are there any stories that have like a great impact on you or effect on you?
You want to go first, Beth?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the name of the guy. Anthony Sowell. He was a serial killer. I want to say in Detroit. Does that sound right?
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Nope.
Yeah, he was a Cleveland strangler. Yeah. He killed women, sex workers, and there was a movie, a documentary called Unseen, and they talked to a lot of the victims of his, and it was really good, and it made me cry. So that story always sticks with me. But yeah, a lot of these stories are really heavy.
I mean, we can't forget that true crime is true for somebody. So we do always try to think about that and give reverence to the victims of the crimes. But for me personally, the hardest ones to cover are crimes against children. Those are really tough to get through. So,
do you ever feel the need to like talk about it, maybe like with other people or in therapy? Like, has it had that type of impact on you to where you just can't shake it and you feel like you need to like talk to somebody to kind of remove that from you?
No, not. I mean, I'm in therapy on a weekly basis, but we don't talk about true crime at all. Actually, true crime, I find this is sick. And there's a video going around on the socials with a Black mental health worker saying, you know, why everybody's so in love with true crime and listens to true crime stories when they're falling asleep. It's because for Americans, violence and trauma are familiar, and things that are familiar relax.
We were talking about that earlier today. Yeah.
Yes. So, I even though the stuff is really troubling and heavy, and it doesn't, the stories don't affect me in that way. But doing the show is a lot of work, and that can be stressful too.
Yeah. I find talking about it kind of cathartic. I don't know.
That's a great point.
Talking to Wendy about it.
I mean, that's what we were doing in the first place, and then we started a podcast. So look at that! Look at
that. Is there ever a time when you decide to turn down stories or delay discussing them? Like there's a story that you guys have picked out and you're like, maybe this is not the right time for us to talk about this. Maybe this is too sensitive of a topic.
We've never turned it down because it's too sensitive. Right. We have turned it down because this is the thing about marginalized folks. When something happens to them, there's not much media attention, news articles, and things like that. So we'll delay something because we can't find enough info sometimes.
We've done that, but we put them on the back burner. We don't say no. We hope later on that more information will come out, or we just keep digging.
Yeah. We have had people reach out to us and say, "Will you cover this case?" And it doesn't. If it's not a marginalized person, we're not going to do it. Yeah. Or if it's not solved yet, we might hold off on doing it. Okay. So we'll refer that person who reached out to us to somebody who might be a better fit, because the true crime community, the true crime podcast community, is pretty small. So
you always like to have a resolution.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have done 2 or 3 maybe unsolved ones, but they were ones that historical. We're pretty sure the perp, it was probably a person of color, or the victims were people of color. But we try not to do unsolved ones.
Is there ever a time when there's a story that's happening currently and you're like, oh, I cannot wait for this to be solved so that we can talk about this? Like, catch this person?
All the time. And the world is getting crazier and crazier, and we find ourselves saying that too often. But we do a news segment every week, a true crime news segment for our Patreons. Right. So we do get to talk about them. It's just behind a paywall.
Yeah. Nice.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk about some of the episodes that you guys have done recently. First, I want to acknowledge the fact that you guys did a really great job acknowledging the mistakes that you made in episode 203. That was one of the episodes that we definitely made sure to listen to, and apologizing to the trans community for everything that was said in that episode. Is that typically how you deal with negative comments and reviews? Is it for you to go back and really have that conversation with your audience?
That's the first time we've redone an entire episode.
Right. Okay. But our fans, we've made it clear from the beginning, we're here to talk about people who are marginalized, but we understand there's a lot of learning and growing we all have to do. And we always try to say that, like, Fruitloops podcast space is a safe space to learn about things you might not have considered before while also enjoying true crime. So when we made that mistake, our audience said, hey, don't you guys remember your mission? And reminded us and showed us, because we have blind spots, showed us that we failed. And so that is something I think we've been prepared to do. And this was the first time that we did end up having to redo an episode.
We have made blurbs in episodes, or like, oh, we screwed up in that last episode, but we didn't. This is the first time we redid the whole episode, because the whole episode was wrong.
Yeah. It was a blessing in disguise, I guess, because we got to do a lot of learning ourselves. We got to reconnect in different ways with our audience, like, to help us do better. So and that episode, I've got to say, I mean, we just recorded it last week, but I'm very proud of it. So, yeah.
And I always look at mistakes as learning opportunities.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And in allyship, I think I had to have said this already. When you're an ally, you're going to make mistakes, and that just comes with the territory.
Before we go on to the next question, Sean, can I ask this question? Like, I remember you said something about your ratings, like on the Apple podcast specifically. Like, they are really, like, it's crazy, the dichotomy there. Like, you have it's a 4 rating, which is kind of wild, because you think like this, like, it'd be 5, but like I have never seen such, like, shining topics. Like, people are like, I want to sniff your draws. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. And then you get this next person like, this made my ears burn. I wish I could never listen to.
I'm like, what the fuck? Forever.
It's just so like how do y'all deal with that? That's so wild.
I don't know.
Go ahead, Wendy.
I don't know. I usually am like, Beth, what do I do?
I really don't. I don't give a shit what they say.
Talk about it. Say it again. Say it again.
Right there.
Absolutely.
One more again. Say it one more time.
I don't give a shit what they say.
There you go. There you go.
See, that's why I love this woman, because she is my wise like friend. As like when I think of fortitude in a human, it like Beth is cool, calm, and like strong. And I have a hard time when I see the bad reviews. The dichotomy does make me the 1 stars make me sad, like because we work so hard on it, but it kind of is what it is.
Them though, I mean, they're all stupid.
That's true. That's true. Some of them are hilarious.
They're calling us racist.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what other things they say, but we have crackhead voices. They say,
what?
That's so crazy.
How dare they?
We were talking about how great your voices was as soon as you got on here. So I don't understand that at all.
There was like one of them asked, "Are you doing this for a kindergarten class?" I'm genuinely curious. I'm like, really?
You think I'm doing a true crime show for a kindergarten class?
You're weird.
You're being disingenuous. I don't know.
I really hate that about Apple Podcasts, though. Like, you can't like respond or get them to take. Like,
it's better not to respond. Actually,
yes. And Beth taught me that one. So
you know what they say about arguing with a fool? You know, from too far away, they can't tell who's who. They just don't know.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
Well, since you've been in this space for, you said, about 5 years now, do you consider yourselves to be trailblazers in the true crime podcast space?
The answer is hell yes. Say
oh my God.
The only right answer.
I know you sent us the questions before, but I never read the bottom of things. So I only read like the first few lines. And then I'm like,
I can handle this. This is fine.
This is fine. This is going to be easy.
I love that.
We appreciate your honesty.
Right. That's hilarious.
For a more organic atmosphere anyway. So that's better.
Right.
Better.
But we've never been asked that before. I'd never even thought of that or considered
thought
it.
about being a trailblazer. No.
But specifically
yes,
though.
we are.
Exactly.
Yes,
no, but seriously though.
That's right,
because
Beth.
when you were talking when you spoke at the Black Pod Festival, Wendy, you were talking about how you went to the Crime Con and y'all were like the first, like only ones there. And then now you said there were 5 other Black podcasts that had, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all have really inspired folks, I feel. Like I feel like y'all really are the trailblazers of true crime. I feel it.
Yeah.
Wow.
That is really nice.
For the culture?
Hey man. Hey.
Oh my God.
Definitely.
My mom will finally be proud of me. So great. I have an immigrant Caribbean mother and she still wants me to be something more than a podcaster. Yeah. But I thank you so much for that question. I remember when me and Beth were first meeting and talking about this, learning how to podcast was hard 5 years ago. And I was like, you know what? It would be nice to like be in a place where we can teach other people like to do this or, you know, pull other people up with us. Yeah. So if we're doing that in some form or fashion, mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished. Yeah.
Nice.
Because that's always been part of what we wanted to do is pull other marginalized people up with us.
Yeah.
Have you had other podcasters coming to you asking for like advice, guidance, that type of thing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the answer is always yes.
Y'all think y'all ain't
want to
trailblazers.
collaborate?
Y'all better stop playing.
Right.
Wait a minute. Now this is I'm going to talk about this in therapy. But gosh, I forgot what I was saying. But, if we can help. Absolutely. And I mean, when we were first starting, there were people who would help, but behind the paywall, right? Like if you give me $500, I'll teach you how to do this or that thing. And that's so stupid. And podcasting also, when we started 5 years ago, I think it's different now, was a very white male space, especially the true crime space. And so it's been kind of cool to see others like us around. So
You might be surprised to know that not all serial killers are straight cisgender white men, and the victims of true crime are not a monolith either. She's Wendy and I'm Beth, and together we host Fruitloops Serial Killers of Color, a true crime podcast.
Together we take deep dives into the true crime stories about marginalized and minoritized perps and victims that often go untold.
We also provide the context and nuance that these stories deserve. At Fruitloops, we're serving up true crime with a side of history, society, culture, and some fun.
Listen to Fruit Loops Serial Killers of Color on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Les, stopping by to let you know we have new merch dropping. Check it all out at culture101podcast.com.
Do you find like little, like, you know how like James Brown used to always be like, every rap song was influenced by me, and like he was right? Because like, you know, like, he had like a little piece of there. Like, do y'all find that in people's podcasts? You're like, there's a little piece of us in there. I see it. I seen it.
No,
I haven't. No.
I haven't. Not at all. Like, there's so many. That's what's so cool about podcasting is like the what do you call it? The gatekeepers are gone, and it's made way for so many like dope voices of women of color.
So
yeah. So every time I see something, I'm like, maybe we should do that. What are they doing over there? Maybe we should try this.
I just think it's so cool because people are so talented, and with gatekeepers, we don't get to hear their voices. So
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know Tristan mentioned anonymity. Forgive me if my that didn't come out as clear as it needed to. But at the top of our show, before like our listeners who may not be like familiar with your podcast, do you feel comfortable like briefly mentioning why you feel the need to remain anonymous or like conceal your identity in this space? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we got that idea from another true crime female podcaster.
Okay.
And you know, when the reasons are, we try to stay as anonymous as we possibly can for safety reasons. I have little kids. I have a family. The internet is a terrible place.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And not everybody's nice on it. And so and you know, we have lives outside of the show, jobs and things like that. So just for our safety, that was one reason. And also it's a hot topic. That was another reason. We weren't sure if, you know, the guys from Wild Black, yes, it's on Revolt now. Wild Black, it's a podcast now. It's an internet series on Revolt. But when they started at the same time we were, and they got a bunch of death threats.
Wow.
And so we were like communicating, like, how's your show going? How's your show going? And they were sharing this with me, and I was like, thank goodness we are as anonymous as we could be, because you just never know.
I'm not interested in being famous, so
That's real.
Understood. So do you ever see, you know, video, animation, or live shows in your future, or just strictly remaining, you know, a podcast that's audio only, and then just traveling to certain festivals that you feel comfortable attending?
I mean, we're always open to hear what's available. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said there will be a live show. You can tell us the date right
Yeah.
now. We want that premiere information right now. We want it.
If you think I'm well, I am shy, but Beth claims to be shy too.
I don't believe it.
So,
I am shy, and I don't talk as well as Wendy does. Wendy's really good at speaking.
Thanks, friend.
I heard that from you on your podcast. I don't believe it.
I don't know about all that.
She's
I don't know if I
crazy.
can co-sign on that, because you came right on here. I was like, oh no, she's commanding the space. Oh no,
I was worried because nothing. My stuff wasn't working. I was like, oh no, Beth's there by herself. She's a whole grown woman with grandbabies and stuff.
Grown woman, just fine. Just fine.
All right. So last question for me, and I don't know if Tristan and Sean has one that pops up, but are there any, you know, tips, tricks, or words of advice that each of you could give us as we continue to grow our podcast?
After talking about how we want to help everybody, and we're like, no, we don't have anything.
Sorry, goose eggs.
This is the perfect time for the Jeopardy music, and I don't have it, and I'm a little upset at myself. I wasn't prepared. That's on me. That's clearly on
Actually,
you.
this is really good to do these crossover episodes, and then maybe we can run it on our feed and get some listeners over your way.
Love that.
You know, do it with lots of other people, cross promos. Go ahead, Wendy.
I was gonna say the same thing, cross promos, and consider like when Tristan approached me, and his show has nothing. This show has nothing to do with true crime, and so you can also collaborate with people who are not within your niche or genre. What else would I say? Say yes as much as you can, keeping in mind you should take care of your mental health and physical and all that stuff. But if you have room for yeses, say yes to you know, collaborating, trying something new, and just do it and be consistent. I would also say.
Oh yeah, be consistent.
Consistency.
Yeah, it's really important. People expect, if you're gonna have an episode every week, you need to put out an episode every week. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I know.
Yeah.
But if you can't do an episode every week, then, you know, just stick to whatever schedule you told the people you're going to do. Yeah, like every other week or whatever schedule you told the people you were going to do. Stick to it.
Oh yeah, honesty also. You know, if you make a mistake, cop to it, be honest about it. If you, like, we've had times in the past where we had to put out a message in our feed that week, somebody's mental health is off this week, so being honest about that. Maybe not everybody's comfortable doing that, but we are. So we'll if we've had to do that in the past, take mental health breaks and been honest about those kinds of things.
That's good. I feel like everybody can identify with that need in those days. So
Our listeners have been really kind.
Oh my gosh. We have the best. Sorry, I don't know what you guys call your listeners, but ours are fruities. There are fruities, and we have a fruity.
Yeah, we love our fruities.
Yeah.
We do need to think of a name for ours.
Wendy is really good.
I think it's Culture Cuties. It's Culture Cuties.
I love it. Culture Cuties.
She's up to today. I love that.
Yeah. I was going to say Wendy is really good at names, but I think Tristan's pretty good.
He nailed it. Yeah, that's perfect.
It just felt right. Yeah. It just felt right. But speaking of names, how did you guys get the name Fruitloops podcast? Because now when I asked Wendy about it, I was like the music software? And she was like, huh? I was like,
Fruitloops to me.
I just thought of the cereal.
Yeah, I had no idea that Fruity Loops was a software, and I told him I'm gonna have to ask Beth about that. But I forgot. Beth, had you heard of that before? Fruity Loops? Oh, I hadn't. And people call us that sometimes. And I'm like, what the fuck? But it's a cereal. It's a play on words. Serial killers of color. It's a colorful cereal.
It's a deep cut.
Yeah. And a Fruit
and
Loop.
It's also a Fruit Loop is somebody who's kind of loopy.
And that's us.
Perfect.
And we're trademarking it.
So. I love that for y'all.
Hit them with the TM.
But the trademark is Fruit Loops Serial Killers of Color.
Yeah,
nice, very nice. We might have to do that for ours.
You know, yes, get on it.
We'll
get on it
later in the line.
You should get on it as soon as you can.
Okay.
Because once you, if somebody gets to it before you do, then you have to change your name.
Oof.
Okay. I'm like, we are not changing our name. I don't care.
I am out of my cold dead hands.
Yeah. You gotta wait to invest it.
Now, I gotta ask this question before y'all get up out of here, just because, like, I know it's the whole theme, and you want to like represent the marginalized, but why do you think the media really suppresses that, like, even beyond racism? Because you would think that they would want to like champion some of these black serial killers, like, see, black people kill a bunch of people all the time. Don't you see?
But people think serial killers are clever.
And they don't think it can be clever.
They don't. Yes, exactly.
It's
not true.
It goes against what they have in their mind, right?
Racism and serial killers, ain't that something?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I can't remember this gentleman's name, but my father always brings him up, and I meant to shake him down for the name. But like because we always talk about like this guy was a black guy who was a serial killer, but like he was responsible for like maybe like 60 or maybe close to 90 murders or something like that.
Wow.
And like it was a situation where he was telling them where the bodies were, and then like was drawing them locations.
Yeah, Samuel Little.
Samuel Little. Yeah, actually, I think it was over
so
that.
damn good.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay.
That wasn't even much information. Did he even give a city and state? Like that was crazy.
No, because this was crazy specific. Because people talked about like they want to talk about the face of true evil. They were calling him the face of true evil. It was kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he's scary.
Draw pictures of his victims. He remembered all of his victims,
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
and he drew pictures of them for the police.
Yep.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Absolute craziness.
Oh, I was also going to say, there's also a misconception that stories by or about Black and brown people don't make any money, and that Middle America won't be interested. So that also is a reason why we don't have it.
Hear these stories.
Hear these stories. So
yeah.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Wow.
We
Sean,
are
do you have
clever,
any-
y'all.
thank you. Yes.
We can also commit murders. Like what?
Okay.
Exactly.
Don't count us out.
See?
The diaspora is a wide tapestry.
Black fist in the air.
With many threads. Somebody,
Exactly.
it's just what it is.
Not a
Sean,
monolith. We killed
Sean, do
we
you
are
have anything
not.
else?
Nothing else for me.
Okay. Well, ladies, we want to say thank you so very much for stopping
Yes,
by.
thank you
and
so
coming
much.
to the
Thank
show.
Thank you
We
so much for
appreciate
having
that.
us. This
Thanks
is
for
so
having
cool.
us.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
We need to
You guys are awesome.
This
I
is
just
really
got sound
fun.
effects, so it feels good.
Isn't
It's
it
a new
fun
show.
when you get up?
Yeah.
Just,
Wendy loves her sound.
I
effects.
love my
What
sound.
is it?
It is
Hip hop
fun.
porn?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, before we get out of here, I would be remiss if I didn't say I love y'all's intro music. I don't know who did that.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
did that little bump again, but that
Really
shit is
good.
fire.
Tell the people. Thank you, Beth. Tell the people who it is.
His name, or I don't know if it's a him or not. Their name is it's Abyss by Alassan. Alassan is the name.
Alassan. Nice.
Yeah.
Shout out to Alassan.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I know the artist Abyss. I'm like, that dude was just on tour. So who we
No,
talking about?
no.
Oh,
The
Alaska.
song is
I got
Abyss.
you. I'm about to say, what? Okay, all right. I'm here for it. But again, thank you, ladies, so much for stopping by. We really appreciate it. But before you get out of here, let the people know what you got going on. What's happening? What should they be checking out?
Well, this episode,
Absolutely.
Good start.
we are we're at Fruitloops Pod on all the socials. We are on all wherever you get your podcast, where you're listening to this show right now. That's where you can find us. Fruitloops Serial Killers of Color. What else, Beth? We don't have anything coming up, but our show comes.
Is
Oh yeah,
fruitloopspod.com.
and our show drops every Thursday.
Yep.
And you can call these ladies. You can ring
Oh,
them up. They got
yeah.
a whole
Oh,
back
yeah.
We have a hotline.
Wait, y'all gonna sing it?
Can you sing it?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
602 935 6294.
It's a little
That's
hard
so
with a
cute.
delay.
We love
so
it. We
cute.
love it. We
I
absolutely
was like,
love it.
damn, it reminds me of like all the times we used to learn celebrities' phone numbers in their songs and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's only one number that matters, and it's an Alicia Keys diary.
281-330.
That's not the
I
one.
thought she
That
was
ain't
in
the
Mike
one.
Jones.
That ain't the
Soulja
one.
Boy.
It will never be Michael Jones. No. It'll be
Soulja
call
Boy?
489-4608 and I'll
Oh wait,
be
and
there.
I'll be
Okay.
here.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Because in my
Okay.
mind, I could call Alicia Keys. I guess Swiss Beats will pick up, but it'll be fine. I think it's all cool.
He
So
sure will. He sure will.
it's fine. It's fine. Well, again, y'all, thank you very much. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
we're going to
Thank you,
take a
guys.
quick break, guys. And
Okay.
we'll be right back.
Hey, this is Wendy of Fruit Loop Serial Killers of Color podcast, and you're now listening to Culture 101 podcast.
All right, guys, welcome back. And it is time to do it for the culture. Do it for the culture. Do it. Shauna Don, take it away.
Ow. So this week we are giving a shout out to a young 7-year-old whose name is Lily Adeleye. She is a young entrepreneur. When she was first of all, when she was 5 years old, she launched her first line at Walmart. And now that she's 7 years old, she launched her second accessory line at Walmart. So she is the young CEO, which she calls cutest executive officer.
I love that.
Why wouldn't she? I love it.
Because that's what it is.
Their hair clips, bow ties, lunch boxes, book bags, all the accessories that young children need. Like, she is taking over Walmart right now.
Is it an African print?
No, it's not. It's shimmery and girly and
okay. It was just giving her last name. I was like, is she like an African princess?
She is
like, what's
African,
going on here? This is amazing. Okay.
She's African. And her mother, who is Courtney Adeleye, she is the owner of Main Choice, the hair product line.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So she is royalty. She is royalty. So she is a princess.
I love that for her. Okay.
So let me tell y'all how this family of entrepreneurs is literally changing the game. So for Lily Frillies, which is her brand name, they have a Lily Frilly Girl Loyalty Club, which is a subscription membership for consumers to receive updated news, get new products as they come in on, they didn't say how often, but there is a subscription plan for the customers. So that is very, what you want to say, like up to date. I know even with like Rihanna and Savage, she's doing a subscription line. So that's becoming very popular in the retail space. But shout out.
I used to have a subscription to Savage Fenty.
Did you really?
Yeah, man. Why not?
Oh, okay. I thought you was
I still have one. I don't use it, but I still have one.
I had to unsubscribe
man. Like,
from
you gotta.
I realized they was taking too much of my money, and I wasn't buying nothing.
Right,
no,
exactly.
You just skip the month every month. You don't have to pay. Just like Shoe Dazzle and all those. You just on the first skip the month, go on about your business.
But do you got to remember to go back and skip it?
Yes.
I have a calendar reminder that pops up on the first every time, so I just doop before I get my day started on the first. I mean, I probably should just unsubscribe because I don't even buy nothing from that. I still have Shoe Dazzle. I don't even buy nothing from that anymore, so I probably should unsubscribe. But that's just happening.
Probably.
And anytime they take your money, you could just call and be like, "Hey, I wasn't gonna, subscribe this one." They'll refund you. So, even if you forget,
well, good to know. Mm-hmm. Well, first I want to give another shout out to Lily from Lily's Frillies accessory line, making her. I don't know if I said this, but she is the youngest CEO to partner with Walmart. So shout out to her whole family and everything that they are doing over there. I love that they are allowing their daughter doing her own creative endeavors and just thriving out here. You can tell that she probably does the designs herself because it's super kid friendly, super girly, very cute.
Love that.
Shout out to her. Love to see it.
This week, I have 2 shout outs from our Door for the Culture. Another young prodigy. This young girl, her name is Declan Lopez. She is a 6-year-old girl from Dover, New Jersey. Now, I just got a quick question for y'all. What were y'all doing when y'all were 6 years old? Just give me like 2-3 things that y'all used to do when y'all were 6 years old.
Going to McDonald's, playing at my grandma's house.
Listen to Will Smith. Watch Rocko's Modern Life. Sneak to watch action movies I wasn't supposed to be watching.
Okay.
You just asked. This is what I did.
But this is not what young Declan has been doing. Young Declan has been busy in them books. Young Declan, Declan Lopez, she scored an IQ of 138, which is nearly as high as Einstein's, which a lot of people say is debatable, but nearly as high as Einstein's. She is a kindergartner who's at a 3rd and 4th grade reading level. So I know you're wondering, why is she a kindergarten with her this high IQ? Why didn't she skip a couple grades? Her mom said that she was actually being bullied at school for not having the same interest as her other classmates and just being so far advanced. But her mom really wanted her to live the life of a child and not grow up too fast and miss those early childhood years. So her mom is still teaching her advanced work, after school hours, but she's still in kindergarten doing that work. Now, who's to say if the mom changes her mind later on as she gets older, maybe 10, 11 years old, and decides to skip her to 12th grade or something like that. She definitely has the ability to do so. But young Declan was able to join the ranks of Mensa, which is a group of people who have an IQ of the top 2% of the population. Like, talk about a
Mensa,
genius. So her mom said she started to notice her child's academic abilities when she was just 18 months old, when she would be repeating what language did she say? She would be repeating her numbers. She was counting in Mandarin. At 18 months old,
that's pretty cool.
Counting in Mandarin. I'm 31. I can't give you one number. And like
that is funny.
I'm kind of curious as to where she heard the Mandarin. Like, was she watching an Asian like Sesame Street or something? Like, what happened?
Her mom said she got it from watching cartoons.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know what cartoon she was watching, but she learned and
so she wasn't even walking. She wasn't even walking, but she was over here counting in Mandarin. That's hilarious.
Okay. 18 months, she was probably walking. Right. She was definitely walking.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, she wasn't doing a bunch, but she was counting Mandarin. That's crazy.
Yeah, she wasn't running, but she was counting in Mandarin. Yes. So I want to give a shout out to this young prodigy. I can't wait to see where she goes in the future and what this life has in store for her. She actually says she wants to be a singer or a fashion designer. So cute. I just love to see the youth just excelling like that. So shout out to her, shout out to young Declan Lopez, and shout out to Lily Adeleye from Lily's Frillies. Y'all are Black excellence.
Oh, shout out to both of them. Yes, we love it. Black girl magic.
All right. Does that do it for the culture?
That does it for do it for the culture.
Well, all right, guys, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Hey y'all, it's your girl, Sean the Don, and I'm here to tell y'all that we now have merch up live. You can find some t-shirts, you can find puzzles, you can find candles, whatever you want, we got it. Come check us out at culture101podcast.com.
Hey, I'm Wendy.
And I'm Beth.
A Fruitloops Serial Killers of Color podcast, and you're now listening to Culture 101 Podcast.
All right, guys, we've reached that part of the show where it is time for us to say happy trails, say sayonara, because, we're getting up out of here. But before we get up out of here, we again want to shout out Fruitloops Podcast, Serial Killers of Color. Thank you so much for stopping by, and imparting us with so many gems. I had no idea that there were that the tapestry of serial killer cloth was so plentiful with so many different multicultural races. Like, if y'all go listen to their show, which you should, you'll see serial killers from all over the globe. I just had no idea. So again, thank you so much for the first episode in our You Don't Know What You Don't Know series. Yeah. And again, shout out to TJ and Amy with your new podcast. We hope it does well. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for him. I want to see it. I can't wait for more episodes. And again, shout out to Declan Lopez on her entry into Mensa, and then also shout out to Lily. Say her last name for me one more time.
Adeleye? Is that Adeleye?
Lily Adeleye with Lily's. What's
Frillies.
The name of her products? I'm sorry. Lily's Frillies. Oh my God, that's such a cute name. Shout out to her with her young, cutest executive officer. We love it. We love it. We love it. Well, guys, again, don't forget to like, subscribe, check us out on all the platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. And if they wanted to reach out to us, Les, how would they do that?
So you can do it a multitude of ways. Of course, you can just hit us up on socials, either DM us or just comment, and we'll go back and forth with you. Have a great time. Or if you want to just send us a private email, it's contact@culture101podcast.com. Or if you want to send us a listener letter to be read aloud on the show, which we would love, head to our website, culture101podcast.com, scroll all the way down on the first page, and just be anonymous if you want to. If you don't care, say what your name is. Tristan will definitely enjoy reading that.
I give you a whole spotlight and everything. You know what? And if you want to send in a video that you want me to play because you just want your question voiced out, I will happily cut that in the show. Because say it with your chest. I like it when people just be out here and say things. That shit is fantastic. But Sean, if they were looking for gifts for the holidays, you know, like maybe they're a little too old for Lily's wonderful project. For Lily's Frillies. Maybe they're a little too old for Lily's Frillies. You know what I'm saying? Like if they were looking for some more adult merchandise, where would they get that, Sean?
Well, first of all, I hope that they are too old for these Frillies if they're listening. Unless they're trying to buy it for their children. But yes, if you're looking for some merch for the holiday season for anybody special in your life or people not special in your life, you can get it for a coworker. You can find it at culture101podcast.com/shop.
Well, all right. Well, until the next time, guys, I've been Trist.
It's your girl Les.
And I'm Sean the Don.
And even though the Frillies may change, the vibe remains the same. We out, y'all.
Bye.